Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today I want to simply wish a very happy birthday to one of my musical inspirations and one of the greatest to ever do so many things. And this is, of course, Phil Collins. Now, I've done quite a lot of videos on Phil, so do check them out. But when I want to consider sort of a brief overview of his career, the first thing that comes to mind is virtuosity, excellence, and versatility. Those are actually the first three things that come to mind. And maybe one of the most interesting of the three is the versatility, because Phil excelled at producing such high quality music across so many genres. There was, of course, the drummer in the prog rock band, the quintessential prog rock band, arguably the most successful ever, Genesis. Then he became both the drummer and the singer of that prog rock band, and then he transitioned them into a pop rock with a bit of prog band that was huge in the 80s and early 90s. Then there's Phil Collins, the jazz fusion drummer. If you don't know that side of Phil, because there are both sides of the story, check out the Brand X albums on which he plays. He is such a great drummer, and you can tell that on the Genesis albums and his solo albums. But jazz and jazz fusion in particular has always been a particularly demanding genre for those who are percussively inclined. So check that side out of him. You can even find some live videos of him playing drums with Brand X on the old YouTube. I would not miss that for the world if you want to see that other side of Phil. Then, of course, there's Phil Collins as one of the great songwriters of all time. He wasn't one of the principal songwriters in Brand X, and in Genesis, at least in the early days, Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks, along with Peter Gabriel in the earlier days, tended to monopolize the composition process. And then all of a sudden, he came out with a solo album, Face Value. And the world learned that, hey, not only is this guy a great drummer and singer, but he's one of the best songwriters around. And the solo albums that he's come out with, beginning with Face Value, just helped to solidify that he could write sort of up-tempo, danceable music. He could write your rockers. He could write your heart-wrenching ballads. Think Against All Odds. Think of I Wish It Would Rain Down. Think later on of the other side of Phil Collins, now that we're talking about versatility, his film compositions, which began with his film Buster, but probably most famous with Disney's Tarzan, You'll Be in My Heart, Disney's Brother Bear. And so we've got a film composer, we've got a songwriter, a drummer across the pop, prog rock, mainstream rock, and jazz fusion worlds. And he also did a bit of tinkering with straight ahead jazz. Really, really just an amazing and versatile guy. Of course, he was virtuosic in all of these capacities. A true maestro behind the drum kit, a wonderful singer. Just listen to him live without any form of net, and he delivers the goods. A great arranger, too, I might add. He was very particular about how the music in his solo career was played by the various incredibly talented musicians he brought on the road. People like Leland Sklar, people like guitarist Daryl Sturmer, people like his fellow drummer from the live Genesis years, Chester Thompson, who he brought along with him on the road many of time. So much talent, and he knew just how to arrange everything to make it sound absolutely perfect. He's not been able to play, pardon me, the drums for a while, but what an output, recorded live and everything in between. We love Phil Collins. Happy birthday. And as always, like and subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time. Take care.